Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Black Arrow Gaming. I'm Bob, back for another episode of Age of Wonders 4, and we've got a few changes you might notice in this one. The Giant Kings update has dropped just this past Tuesday, as the time I'm recording this. So there's some mechanical changes to the game that we'll probably just need to talk about as we play through it. Already, you can probably see things look quite a bit different. There's all these little buildings everywhere now outside your cities, which I think looks kind of cool. Makes them look like they're spreading out more, like a bigger city. There's also some mechanics that have changed with things related to city sieges, the item forge, some other stuff like that. We'll talk about that as we go. But first, I want to go through your feedback from the last episode. First off, from Umerdara, a reminder to get the Vassal Tribute Empire upgrade. I also made a note about this myself. It is not that one. Not that one. Wait a second. What am I missing here? Oh, this one. Yeah, the vassals grant 10% more resources and tribute. This should be a pretty substantial upgrade to my economy. I intended to get this before the end of the last episode and just forgot. It does cost 400 Imperium, which is pretty hefty, but I think the number of vassals that I have makes this worth it. Let's check out my gold is currently at 512 per turn, mana's at 93, and I don't know if this affects research, but it's at 729. Now it's 558, 122, and 741. It's actually not as big of a difference as I was hoping for, to be honest, but it is an improvement. And let's see, it's going to be 9 turns before I have enough mana for the Rangers upgrade. So I'm going to have to just sorry, before I have enough Imperium for the Rangers upgrade, I'm going to have to just be careful with my supply. I do think it's still worth spending on things like that right now. I just need to kind of budget for things that I have coming down the road. Once the dragons evolve, my Imperium income is going to dry up pretty quickly. But I could clear some more wonders to try to make up for that, and I intend to do that in this episode and coming episodes. From Sarah Feingold, yellow has the Tome of Cleansing Flame because there is a Pyre Shrine in Tenet. That's a good call. Didn't notice that, but they definitely do have Tome of Cleansing Flame, so we can expect to see some Pyre Templars out of yellow. I wanted to check something with that number of vassals I was talking about real quick. If you go to Diplomatic Overview and Free Cities, I currently have 8 of them, but I'm going to have a lot more because every city that I conquer from this point through the rest of the game is going to end up becoming a vassal. So, or at least a tributary. We'll see how quickly I can divvy out my Whispering Stones. So yeah, that's gonna be a benefit that kind of gathers strength over the course of the game. From Rhett Marut, suggested using the hero or my ranger army to clear the void stones. I plan to. There might be some wonders that I need to stop on along the way or afterwards. I think what this guy's army is going to do is go south. I'm going to clear the Scorched Forge on my way so I can add that to Milestone. That's something Chris Lighthawk reminded me to do. And then after that, I'll pop down here real quick, clear these Void Stones. Then I'll flip this province over to this spot so that I can get the Void Stones. That will complete this collection here, which Chris reminded me also that I was highlighting this, which is wrong. I need to highlight this little bar here, and then it'll tell me what I get for completing the collection, and that's vassals gain 10 knowledge. So I'll get a decent boost to vassal income. The Umbral Dwelling one doesn't matter because I am not friends with any of the Umbral Dwellings. In fact, I'm enemies with all of them. So, but that's still going to be a nice little boost in research. Also from Chris Lighthawk, a reminder to continue to build roads. Reminder to use Mage's Channel Power ability. I've been kind of forgetting that I have that. And a reminder to clear the Depository of Defuncts, which is a wonder that is underground over here. I think it's under Markarth. Yeah, down here. This wonder here, I probably should have cleared that a while ago. But if I clear that, it can drop some unique spells, one of which is Forced Evolution, which could actually be pretty handy right about now because I could use it on my dragons and just skip the whole leveling them up thing and go straight to gold dragons. Another reminder, or also Chris wanted me to know that flying units do benefit from roads. I think I said something in the last episode to indicate that they don't. They actually do. And we'll be able to look at that here next turn, but I actually didn't know that. I kind of assumed they didn't. That might have been leftover thinking from Age of Wonders 3. I can't remember if it was like that in Age of Wonders 3 or not. It's been a while since I played, but I still have some habits from Age of Wonders 3 that have carried over with me into this game because I played it for so many years. Then I was looking. Okay, so I already went over that. Oh yeah, one last thing from Chris Lighthawk. Standing on an enemy teleporter and Spelljammer, I would add, prevents units from, or prevents those structures from being used, and pillaging them does not count as an evil action. I did know that standing on things like that prevents them from being used. I did not know that pillaging them doesn't count as an evil action. That was changed in a patch apparently a while ago, and I guess I never got the memo. So it's actually totally fine if I blow this stuff up. Chrono gates, teleporters. I assume it applies to chrono gates as well, but teleporters and spelljammers, I can break those no problem. All right, and that's all the comments for this week. So let's jump into the gameplay here. Most of this is going to be putting units on wait because I'm pretty sure I was at the end of my turn. So I'm just going to click through all this as long as there's not obviously something I'm missing. It doesn't look like there is. Okay. And we're at the end of the turn. Okay. So let's hop on over to the next turn. Now, Laryssa is going to... Well, actually, I was going to say she's going to be out of the game soon, but maybe she's in the void. She might respawn. Or is that her... Is that her underneath that? And I just can't see the banner. Yeah, that's her right there. So, once this city goes down, she is dead. And interestingly enough, because of changes that were made to siege mechanics, she actually can't run away now. In the version of the game since the Ogre update, so this wasn't actually part of Giant King's DLC, this was part of the free Ogre update, included a number of changes to the base game. One of them was changes to how sieges work. So siege projects, most of them, actually don't do extra fortification damage to the city. They just give you a benefit during the final fight. Kind of like having the onagers will let you throw catapults at the walls, undermining the walls, put holes in them. I think that's one of the best ones you can do. Breaking the battlements, reduces the range of units that are standing on the battlements. They can't use them if they're broken. Stuff like that. The only thing that does do fortification damage is Headlong Assault, which I think has received a massive nerf because of an extra effect that it does. I'll talk about that in a minute. Oh gosh, I just realized something. Or maybe they fixed it. All right, we'll talk. I got a lot of things to talk about. And it's possible that other things, like there might be some things, siege projects you get from other special sources that do extra fortification damage. But also to offset that, it's generally harder to get fortification levels in cities. Like, for example, Karatov here only has 30. Makav in their capital only has 40. I'm pretty sure those cities had more than that. So there's less to punch through, but there's also also harder to get things that punch through it. In my opinion, this makes things like siege magic more valuable. Siege master on heroes, things like that are more useful now. And the other big thing is if units are in a city while it's being sieged, they can't leave unless they come out and fight the army that's sieging them. So she actually cannot move like out here. She can't do it. She can't run away. She's trapped and she's got to fight this one out. I think I like this change because it sort of simulates the city being kind of blocked off and surrounded, like actually under siege. Like a siege would happen in real life or did happen historically. Typically, sieges of a city involved blockading it, preventing resources from coming in and out, and a lot of times starving the population to death rather than actually the big battle or fighting itself. But it was more like isolating them from the rest of the world and kind of starving them out. That's not exactly how it works in Age of Wonders, but it does kind of make sense that the armies in there would be stuck in there defending the city. We'll see how it works from a game balance perspective, but I do kind of like it in the sense that it makes it so that the city sieges are going to more likely end in a big climactic battle because they generally don't have incentive to come out and fight me anymore because they can't run away. Oh, I gotta do this. This should be easy. They don't have much of an incentive to come out and fight me anymore because they can't run away. They have more of an incentive to stack more units in the city, and then there's a big, huge battle at the end. And I think I like that. I think that's cool because siege battles a lot of times didn't end in the siege, in the city itself. That normally people would run out and fight in the fields and stuff. All right, let me swat that little Eldritch army off of me. And there's some other mechanics to sieges too. Another big one that really caught me off guard in one of my single player games was that her headlong assault, while it does do extra fortification damage, it also leaves the units who used it exhausted during the siege battle, and that's really bad because exhausted prevents healing, and on a build like mine that's pretty heavy into healing, that's extremely bad for me. So you'll pretty much never catch me using headlong assault anymore. Also, do I want that? I don't think I do. I'm gonna disenchant this equipment. There's changes to enchanting now. That's a tier 2 item. I'm gonna disenchant it for 100, which is actually, I think, more than I could normally disenchant it for otherwise. Yeah, we'll do that. Let me pop into here real quick and look at my arsenal. Like if I was to disenchant this tier 2 item, I guess it would be 100. Okay, so they rebalance some of that too. Interesting. Gosh, there's too much to talk about. The Ogre update changed a lot of stuff. It really did. And I have actually lost track of what I was talking about a moment ago, so I'm sure it'll pop up later. Let's figure out where this bear is going to go. For now, I think you can just chill in the city. I don't think... Or I'll just send you through that teleporter with the other throwaway units that I'm kind of just chucking at this thing. Where are you guys? Some halfway decent units in here. Some others I don't care about, including... Feels weird to say this, but including the Hunter Spider. Even though that does evolve into a tier 4, it's not worth the Imperium upkeep, so I'm just going to gather probably the best units I can from this army here and just start throwing them at stuff in the hopes that some of them don't make it and go away. Because they're not worth the upkeep anymore. Alright, so let's see who survives this. That clears out quite a few of them. Mostly animals, the gargoyle. Yeah, it's all stuff I didn't need that I'm paying enchantment upkeep on. Wow, my mana income just went from 90 to 220. Just like that. Also got Hardy Greaves. I think my heroes have... I think my heroes all have leg items, but you don't normally see leg items as much, so I'm going to make sure. He's got ones that give him extra resistance. She's got ones that give Juggernaut. Keep those. +1 resistance. Yeah, everybody's got some already. Although, there's actually much better ones I could give some of these guys. Because that's 2 defense versus 1 resistance, and you get slip away. I probably should be switching these out. And I think I had one more that was just a +1 resist. It was one of these. Yeah, I would rather have those. Pass through doesn't do me any good, but I'd take 2 defense over 1 resistance. Okay. Alright, let's continue going south with these guys. I'm going to ignore those birds. They'll run into something eventually, and I'll kill them later. Got the Blessed Soul. He was on his way out here to reinforce these armies with an extra shield unit. But we're all going to go past him the other way. Oh, I should have moved him first. That army needs to move as quickly as it can. In fact, that army basically needs to consolidate into one, like, super army. Because they need to... You know what? I'll send this guy out ahead and we'll build roads. So I need to connect all of this. There we go. because they need to get south as quickly as possible to get to that Scorched Forge. You can go grab that creature cage, and I'll just get another throwaway unit that I can use out here. It doesn't make sense to throw away units on that, really. It's unlikely that that would have anything in it that I want. What about these? That's been cleared. That has not been cleared. And that hasn't been cleared. We'll see if these guys can band together to actually take out some of that other stuff. I still have a decent army here. They're all tier 1s, but most of them are legendary rank, so I can still make use of that. Alright, you guys are out of movement. You guys can just come down here and chill for a turn. Probably should get them back to heal them up before throwing them at something else. And then these guys down here need to get back across the river. I believe this hero had died during the battle. Yeah, so I think they were on their way back. No, they didn't. I sent them ahead to build the outpost. That's what happened. And I'm gonna add walls to this outpost first, just so I don't have to worry about something sneaking up on it from coming through like a teleporter or something. Let's get these guys crossed into the water. I can't actually annex. Those are uninhabitable provinces, so I can't annex them. So yeah, all these people need to actually go all the way across into the land to heal, which is actually fine. They can disembark and re-embark pretty quickly. Oh gosh, they needed healing pretty bad. They got the crap beaten out of them. Alright, so they'll just stand there for a couple turns, and then we'll give it another shot. Also, I was bringing down a Blessed Soul, which probably means I was planning to replace someone in one of these armies. I think it was... Is it you, that Vowkeeper? I don't know that I want to replace anyone in these armies. The Seal Bearer is actually pretty good against the undead, or against the Umbral guys. However, the Blessed Soul would be too, because they also have radiant damage abilities. I think I actually will swap that Seal Bearer out for the shield. Alright, buddy. You're in. Just to have a couple extra defenders in there. Alright, that'll work. All those guys can just wait. Fairies, where did I... Oh yeah, I did want these guys in a couple different armies. One, I want to go this way and catch up with my armies that I was just working with in the underground. The other one, I want to go to my main attack force up here, which I think she can come out of this teleporter right here. And the one nice thing is that I don't have to worry about them running out and picking her off, because they can't. I got them trapped in the city. Let's see, do I want Flamer Focus? Does that really do me any good? What tome am I on, actually? That's a good question. I don't know where I'm at. I got Tome of Prosperity, so I have another Tier 4 tome that I need to pick. Oh wait, no I don't, because I went back and did the Tome of Vigor, that's right. Was there something else in here that I needed? Empowered Beasts. Actually, I've been dumping on animals, but they're not bad for this build, because I do get the Tome of Vigor. So I could get Empowered Beast and make them better. And I am going with the Tome of the Goddess of Nature next, which they also benefit from. I think I've been a little too hard on my animals. That's kind of too bad. I'm gonna hide that for now. I'm gonna shuffle research a bit. The Flamer Focus I don't find to normally be that exciting on non-fire based builds. Although I guess it does... It is a radius attack that inflicts both bleeding and burning. That's kind of nice. Either that or I could try to get animals. Some animals mixed into my armies, which would benefit from... All my other units benefit from that too. I only have 6 battle mages in the army though. I think I'm just gonna shuffle research. I'll grab empowered beasts, why not? And I'm not sure that I have the mana to really support it, but I can maybe work on that. The one thing I do seem to have a lot of is gold. Okay, Markarth gets another province. What do I want out here? You know what? I was just talking about mana. Let's get more mana. Grab the conduit right there. And send this poor guy to the front lines. I also have, you know what? I've got a lot of terrain that is very good for summoning animals. The volcanic terrain is pretty good for that because you can summon phoenixes in it pretty easily. As well as nightmares and other stuff. Oh, super growth is ready. Excellent. Been looking forward to this. Now all my guys have an extra retaliation attack, less units in formation, plus 10 hit points. So I have become even harder to kill. That Pyro Templar right there, for example, has 213 health. Wonderful. I love it, love it, love it. That one's got 170. He'll have more once he ranks up a bit more. Alright, more people are in the prison. Another change to the game now is that when you kill heroes or add them to your prison, they... Did all the people... Have I actually sold all the people in my crypt? I probably have for their items. But as for the rest of these guys, when they're added to your prison or killed now, you actually just get the items. Like that guy, post Ogre update, all his items would have just gone to me before he was sent to the prison. There's no reason to keep there's basically no reason to give them freedom or execute them unless you're trying to get changes to your alignment or like there's an event that wants you to do it. But you'll always get their items after you defeat them, which is interesting, I think. Another change to the game. This person right here, some of these I'm tempted to let go because they have an awful lot of items. I think somebody like this, who's got a tier 2, a tier 1, a tier 1, and a tier 1. The problem is these guys are actively working against me right now, so I think I might keep them in there anyway, just so they don't freely respawn at the Eldritch Dwellings. I'm not sure how Eldritch Heroes work, whether they'll just spawn new ones like normal AI do, or whether you imprisoning their heroes keeps them from getting new heroes. If anyone knows that, let me know, because it could depend what I do with whether I sell their remains or release them or not. I could always execute them too, but I'm supposed to be a good guy, and I don't want to start executing prisoners and lower my alignment. So, because Oath Sworn are kind of all about that alignment. I wish I could remember what I was talking about with respect to the sieges a minute ago. I was just basically talking about. I think more or less I was just complaining, or kind of complaining / talking. I'm complaining because it worked against me in an off-camera game I was playing by myself. I ended up losing a whole army because of that whole exhausted attackers thing when you do the headlong assault. Like, I had a very heavy healing focused build, and I just got absolutely destroyed. It's a massive, massive debuff, and I don't think it's worth doing anymore. Healing is just too important for most of my builds in this game. Now that there's the fire giants, now that there's the giant rulers, though, I have been enjoying them. I like the fire giants. I think they're really cool. Um, I think they're a good fit in this game. I think overall the Ogre update was a pretty dang good update in my opinion. And I think the giant DLC is also pretty good DLC. I think the giant rulers have a really cool niche in this game. I kind of like how they leaned into terraforming a bit with them, gave some more options for terraforming, gave some more options for like making use of volcanic terrain and lava, which I think is really cool that you can really make like a lava themed empire, fire themed empire, more so than you could before. I do still think one thing is kind of missing from this game, um, that I did leave a post about on the community feedback area after Giant Kings launched. The one environment that I think is still a little underutilized is sand terrain, desert terrain. There's not really anything that benefits from that in any meaningful way. The only thing that I'm aware of is primal culture with the dune serpent. Um, that one gets a little extra gold from desert tiles, but as far as I know, there is absolutely nothing else in the game that benefits, gives any sort of resource benefit from desert tiles. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because I would like to know if there is. I think it would be cool to make like some sort of desert-based empire, but right now there's not really any reason to do it, as far as I know. There's a tome in the there's a spell in the Tome of Paradise that like spreads grassland terrain and gives you bonuses to like food and draft and I think maybe production from grassland terrain. And there is one in the Tome of the Cold Dark called Marching Winter that does something similar for like ice and snow tiles. And I would like to see something like that for desert. There isn't anything like that for volcanic as far as I know, except for if you play as a fire giant or the tome of or if you do the primal culture, the saber cat one that's like about volcanic terrain. But aside from that, I don't know that there's any bonus to the lava and volcanic tiles. And I'm not even sure if the primal saber cat likes lava. I know they like volcanic, but I'm not sure about lava. But yeah, I would like to see something for the desert. I kind of think that desert adaptation is pretty underpowered because really all it does is give you sandwalk, which basically becomes useless once you have roads, or mostly useless. And it lets you build farms on desert tiles, which is cool, but the Dune Serpent lets you do all of that and gives you the extra gold bonus. So if you're going to play a desert empire, you almost have to be Dune Serpent to make meaningful use out of it. Also, you can still build farms on desert tiles. You have to find these little grassy patches, and they're not too hard to find. So it kind of makes the ability to build farms on desert tiles a little less useful, in my opinion. But maybe that'll be something for a future update. I get a sense that this game still has a lot of growing to do. I mean, we're only in the second season of the game, essentially, and it looks like a whole different game in a lot of respects, so I guess that's the blessing and the curse of Paradox games. On the bright side, there's always DLC to look forward to, but on the downside, there's always new DLC to pay for, so at least it'll keep me busy for a while. I can barely keep up with the new updates as they've been rolling out. Already, I'd like to be moving on to Giant Kings, but I gotta finish this one up first. The thing that's killing me is these turn times, though. I wish they could do something about this. It just takes so long to cycle between turns, and the quickest way to speed it up is to start knocking people out of the game. Alright. What is this? I'm gonna take Imperium if I can get it. Yeah. Absolutely Imperium on this one. Desperately need that. Okay. Let's grab this guy. I'm gonna actually form a very strong single stack army with this guy. So we're gonna take the Pyre Templar, Do I have a shield unit in there? I kind of probably... I might add that Blessed Soul to it. Or we'll just go with all of our... Or we'll just go full Pyre Templar. I mean, we could. I am going to keep the dragon in there because he needs XP. We need to level him up. Whichever dragon has more XP is going to get it. He's the veteran. That one is slightly less, so we'll add this dragon in. Because I need this army to be good. So just an archer, 3 Pyre Templars, a dragon, and we'll say... I mean, I could just do another Pyre Templar because they're so freaking overpowered. Yeah, you know what? Just another Pyre Templar. Why not? Just all the Pyre Templars in with this one death stack, plus the dragon. What could go wrong? And everybody else can sort of bundle up and keep moving on down. Except for one of you guys needs to move out because I want to fit these guys into 2 distinct stacks here. That one could use some more melee heavy hitters in it, shield units, that kind of thing. So why don't you go there? You go there. Oh wait, we don't need the shield unit in both of those. I'll move him back there. Split these guys up. I don't know what I'm doing with this group. They're all mixed up now. I don't really care about these other 2 stacks. The primary thing is this guy. I want him to... Well, on the next turn, I'll be able to hit the Scorched Forge. Ooh, do I want to wait a turn? Nah, I don't really need to. I would rather keep the city growing. I kind of want to go for the granary. Or granary, however you pronounce that. We'll do the granary, and I'll pick up this oasis here with the forester. That'll give me more food. Yeah, I think that's the right call. Next thing I get can be that, I'm going to have him come down here and help fight. Next thing I get can be the Scorched Forge. That'll give me a little more Imperium income to make up for all that I'm spending. Okay, you come over this way. In fact, all of you guys... Yeah, all of you need to... Well, first they need to come back and heal for a minute, but... Then they'll be right back out hitting the front lines and trying to clear random stuff out to the west. And who lost people? Who needs reinforcements? You could use one. They're good for now. Guess the barrel just sort of hang out here. In fact, I'm going to give him a little check mark so I don't forget he's there, because I don't want him just sitting there for the rest of the game eating up mana. Alright. I wish it wouldn't do this. It's going to be a lot faster for the ferry to just... It's trying to use the teleporter. It doesn't need to in this circumstance. Sometimes it does that, and it doesn't need to do that. I need to get rid of... Ooh, honestly, none of these units. I think they're actually okay out here. I think that ferry would be better off... I think that ferry would be really better off somewhere else. Oh, you know what? I'll put her down here with that... I'll put her down here with that guy's army, that ranger's army. That makes more sense, because he doesn't have a healer. So I'll drop one of the Pyre Templars and replace it with a unit that can provide some healing and extra stacks of grace. Which, I did just get Staves of Grace. Did I cast that? I did not. Let's get that going. And then, let's see. You need to continue your trip down here. They need another turn of healing. They got really beat up. You guys are all good. You're good. It's a lot of just kind of waiting right now, although I believe Laryssa will no longer be with us after the conclusion of next turn. Oh wait, no, hang on, I'm being dumb. That's not her capital. No, I've still got to go north to finish her off, unfortunately. Garden of Affluence. Yeah, that's a worthwhile thing to probably build in all of my cities. It's giving gold and mana income for every farm and forester. Let's do that. Which city was that? Markarth? Yeah, that's fine. Stone walls are done. Which, actually, you can't build in outposts anymore, as far as I can tell. But I had already started that before the update, so I still get it. I'll throw a watchtower up here. It might help me see over those mountains a little bit. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it's alright. I don't really need to do anything with this area, other than just kind of hold it, so I'll just leave that outpost there, and it'll be at least a extra little barrier to enemies coming through from that angle. I got void crystals. Those need to go to... Okay, everybody over here has some form of void protection. I know that because they're all standing in gloom right now. Who else needs it? I need to find the army that I have going through here. I believe this guy has some. Reward crystals. Yeah, he's got some. Who doesn't have any sort of void protection? The ranger does not. I think I would probably opt to drop the wand to polymorph, because more likely I'm just going to want him to be shooting things. Dovahkiin's got some. Lusty's got some. Okay, everybody has some. I think I was at a point where I was just replacing them with better healing items, except for the ranger. We'll go ahead and give the ranger this one. I'll drop the polymorph wand. I think that actually would be maybe better off sitting in my stash. It's a good wand. I don't know. That could be really useful for clearing wonders. But I also want the extra casting points for sure. I think with the Spring Fairy, you know what? I would probably never have him use heal. I think that's extremely unlikely because it's only a single unit. If it was the AOE healing wand, it'd be a harder choice, but for that one, I think we'll swap that out for the Void Crystals. The new Void Crystals that I've been making add healing, which is, I think I would rather have than any other effect that I have on Void Crystals, so I was kind of planning to switch them all out. But there are now some changes to the item forge, which I guess now is a good enough time to talk about, that that will make that harder to make. Basically, to forge tier 3 or 4 items, you need this new binding fragments material. It's kind of like binding essence, but you only get it from disenchanting tier 3 or 4 items. Which fortunately I kind of have been holding on to a lot of those, like this thing, for example. I'll get 75 binding fragments for disenchanting this thing. So I'll go ahead and do that. Godbreaker might be another one that I could get rid of. That inflicts stun. The Green Lance is one that I could get rid of. So I can kind of get some of these from some of these fragments from things like this. But it's going to be fewer and further between how many I can make. Now, fortunately, I do have a lot of items, so I'm not really hurting for it, but it's definitely a harder resource to obtain. There are other ways of getting it. Some of them are kind of locked behind being a Giant King. There's also a underground landmark province, which is not going to exist in this game, that can get you a passive income of both binding essence and fragments. One of those big, huge underground landmarks. I think spending what binding fragments I do have on items that both boost army healing and provide void immunity is probably worth it. I think that's one of the better items I can make right now, especially because my build focuses so much on natural regeneration, which is based on the amount of health that units have when they start combat. So having more passive healing is extremely important. So I'm going to continue to make these, even if I have to disenchant tier 3 items to get them. The nice thing is that the old ones can just sit in my hoard, and they'll gather resources from me over time. So although I am disenchanting some resources out of my dragon hoard to make better crystals, the old crystals can go back into my dragon hoard and still generate some income from me, so I'm not at a total loss there. If there is any other super important tier 4 items you guys might be able to think of that I'm missing, maybe let me know. But I think those void crystals and passive army healing combined with void immunity is probably going to be the most useful thing on a map like this. Alright, we got... Still working on some of our vassal cities here, but basically for anyone who's not... basically, as soon as I get people to vassal status, I'm just going to be moving on and getting the new tributaries as vassals as quickly as I can. That way we can start cooperating with them. In fact, now that I think about it, this one, Habit up here, can cooperate now. So let's set them to defend probably Falkreath, since Falkreath's defense did get whittled down a little bit. We're just going to have basically all our vassals defend our core cities while our armies run out and cause problems for the enemy. Ripton could also use a Garden of Affluence. Maybe could use a Monolith. I'm actually doing pretty good on mana ever since losing that big chunk of animals. I think I'm still going to throw away a lot of those little animals because I don't want to worry about evolving them, but I might start summoning some of the empowered beasts to see if I can get some better ones. Let's see, School of Discipline, that's for adjacent quarries. How many adjacent quarries do I have to work with? Not a lot. We'll cancel that. Maybe I'll try to figure that out later. For now, I think Garden of Affluence makes the most sense. That's a really nice city upgrade. So I'll focus on getting that for the time being. Okay. Got a backup save. Let's move on. Gosh, now I'm wondering if that wizard tower thing, that... What's it called? The giant wizard tower that gives you that wizard's tower bombardment siege project. I'm wondering if that still gives you a substantial amount of siege damage like it used to. It used to be 15, which feels absolutely broken since the changes they made to city defense strength. One thing I am very thankful for, though, is that the city defense strength seems to have updated for all of these people's cities, because right now I don't have a way of really adding siege power to cities outside of siege masters or whatever, and it would take absolutely an eternity to siege down some of these cities if they still had like 130 city defense strength or whatever. See, like at most I'm seeing 40 out here now, so that's much more manageable. Otherwise, it would have taken forever to get through all the rest of this crap. In fact, I think a lot of them will go down quicker than this one did because I'll be trying to surround them and taking advantage of the fact that I have siege magic. Siege breaker. Oh, that would be another good one. Because actually a lot of these guys don't have... Oh, I want siege breaker on every hero. Particularly in Dovahkiin's army. I need three Siegebreaker items. Because I actually don't have very many battle mages. Siege magic benefits battle mages, but I don't really have any battle mages. Siegebreaker grants it to all units in the army. That's potentially an extra 15 siege damage, which would basically allow me to siege down everything in 2 turns. Yeah, that's super important right now. I need to get that. I'll, as soon as those void crystals are done, that's next on my list. I don't mean all the void crystals, I mean just that one. As soon as that one is done, I'm going to start making some of those. Oh, I think I just got condemned or something. Burden of guilt, yeah. Which I need to remember will prevent that army from moving as far on the next turn, because it's annoying like that. It's fine. You can slow down the march of my armies, but you can't stop it. We're coming for their capital eventually. It is her turn, actually. What will you do? You don't have a bird nest to go throw your armies against anymore. What will you do now? Just defend the walls, I suppose. With a lot of tier 2s and stuff. Got one tier 4 in there, one cannon. Nothing too super scary. Looks like... Oh, that's just a random city-state army. Yeah, whatever. Just feed my dragons XP, thank you. Easy, easy, easy. For a second I thought Laryssa was riding out to attack me. Interestingly, oh yeah, that's something else I was talking about. If they ride out to attack you, in the previous iteration of the game, what would happen is when they ride out to attack you, all the siege projects would have no effect. Because, what did I get here? I don't need that. All the siege projects would have no effect because they would be fighting the battle in the field. But now, if she came and attacked me while the city was under siege, I'm pretty sure all the walls would be in play and all my siege projects would be active. I think that's how it works now. I don't know that for sure. That's something my brother was telling me that he experienced. So that's another layer to kind of encourage people to have big fights like this at the end of a siege. I'm going to go ahead and move in. Which of these armies got blasted? That it was you guys that got slowed down? Okay. So I'll move in with Dovahkiin's army here. Move all of them up just a bit so they're in range. And then I will come smush them. It says this is a low-risk battle. We'll see how this goes. It should be fine. Looking at the balance of power between those units, this shouldn't even really be close. I could see them doing decent damage to me, but as long as my units use heals like they should, I think I'll be just fine. Though it is taking a hot minute to calculate that combat. Really? Both dragons? Alright, 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 whatever. If you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. Honestly, the dragons, I don't think even need to approach the walls on this one. At the very least, I'll leave them behind the rest of my troops. But at least now we get to do a pretty big siege, which is fun. Top priority here, if I can get her, is to take out Laryssa so she can't cast spells. If I can get to her and surround her and then just pick her off real quick, that would be ideal. I think I'm in a position here where I can kind of just rush the middle. I think my armies are tanky enough that they can handle it. I'll just protect them with, yeah, Dovahkiin's going to provide resistance in an area around. I can't actually look at their skill tree. I wish you could do that in combat, look at their skill tree, but as far as I know, you can't. But yeah, I'm going to basically just charge right up the middle. Yeah, that looks good. We'll leave the dragon in back, protected by friends. In fact, I'm going to hit the middle with everything I've got. I trust in the raw power of my army, and I think it's going to be more useful than to hit a single point. I would like that point to be centered on Laryssa, preferably. So everybody goes middle on this one. Also, is it just me, or does it always feel like the army on the bottom right kind of spawns further away from the action than everybody else? Not sure why that is, but it's just what it feels like. Okay. I did kind of walk into an AoE stun there, but I think my status resistance was high enough that it didn't matter. I'm going to have my Blessed Dragon pop whatever Reign of Prosperity is on the next turn. And we'll try to just tank this initial wave of fire that's going to come raining down. And I need a heal right in the middle of all that. Dovahkiin's got to clean that up. That's what he's for. Alright, buddy. I need you to, first off, free heal. Let's use that. On yourself, actually. You actually took a pretty nasty hit there. I want to use Undying Loyalty on you, just because it gives a little extra regen. And then I want to use this AoE on these guys, but hang on. There are others that have a lot of debuffs that I would like to get rid of, so let's get as much bang for my buck out of this as I can. Surround Dovahkiin. And just do a giant status clear right there. Much better, okay. So many buffs and so many status effects removed. Then I can do Reign of Prosperity with this guy. In fact, I'm going to make sure, hang on. I want to select your rotate. There you go, just do that. There you go. I wanted to make sure he was looking the right way. It's sometimes hard to tell what direction those dragons are looking. Okay, now Reign of Prosperity, give everyone a stack of grace so we can tank some hits going into this. And then I'm just going to get this guy right up on the walls there. First off, do I have any big AoEs that would be useful right about now? The blind or Rending Shadows would be pretty good for blinding a lot of the ranged units. Grand Protection would be good across the board, but I think I want damage right now because there's this nice big juicy group of enemies right here that I would just love to ruin their day. I think I'll do damage because that's going to lower their damage output and make them less threatening overall. So I'll do that. That kind of like makes that mage lock in the back a little less useful. And then I'm gonna go ahead and send my hero up here. Ooh, or I could summon a spider, which would be a free unit that they would have to deal with. Summon Spider Monarch. Let's do that. Unfortunately, I didn't get the jumpy one. I wanted to put one right up there, and I can't do that now. Alright, that's fine. We'll work with it. It's at least an extra unit, so try to make the most of it. And have you stand there. Maybe hit both of them. Oh, I froze that cannon. Okay, that's good. I wanted to get in that cannon's face with that hero. That's why I was considering putting them there. But freezing it, just as good. Alright, then I want this group, I think, to charge straight at that wall and pin down Laryssa. I feel like there's not that many holes in the wall as there normally is. We're gonna get some stacks of bleeding while doing this. Oh good, they changed the icon for focus aim. This is something I had pointed out in an earlier feedback on their website, but the focus aim icon used to be identical to the awakened icon, which made it very confusing if you had the Tome of Discipline with a high culture build. But now it's different, so that's good. How can I best... So, do I want to put Lusty right up here? And just... What's your odds of stunning her? Not great. You have better odds of stunning the Dragoon. Which might actually be useful, because the Dragoon can normally run. Nothing else up there is particularly scary. I think Lusty's got enough... Yeah, Lusty's got enough resistance that I don't think anything's going to hurt her. So I'm just going to get her up here on the wall. And we're going to try to stun that guy. Okay, good. Then she goes into defense. Good luck killing her. As far as I can tell, she is way too tanky. Alright. And what I'm going to do is try to position this guy to where he can shoot stuff on the walls. He can't really from here. Alright. Plan B then is to send this shield forward, use him to kind of guard the Templar. Oh, I can't send him back because I think of the caltraps. You know what? Just rush the walls. Just go. I think we'll be alright. My units are tough. We'll guard the archer with those fairies from elemental damage. These guys are getting a little bit... Yeah, I don't think I want to send them up this way. We're going to continue with our strategy of moving towards the middle and kind of protecting that dragon. Dovahkiin's already used a heal on this turn. So I'm going to move this guy forward and then do Cleansing Flames, which should remove his bleeding. Yep, there it is. Yeah, these guys can basically just run through the caltraps, get the bleeding status, and then immediately get rid of it, which is kind of nice. See, you've done all you can do on this turn. I will have them charge the walls alongside that spider. What type of hero are you? Just a regular melee attacker? Alright, we'll send you that way. And I am not comfortable sending the dragon up on that wall, so we'll have him hang down here, kind of behind some of this other stuff. I think here looks good. Puts him in a good position to jump on the wall next turn if that's advantageous. Use mental mark, okay. I really need to get rid of her. Who's left? Young golden dragon. Yeah, you can go stay there. You stay there. Honestly, if these guys can just tank some fire for a while, that's good enough. I think this army up here is, unless I want to kill Laryssa, but aside from that, I think I'm just going to have to... Oh wait, she's got defensive masters. Okay. So Lusty can actually do some damage to her on the next turn and still end her turn in defense mode. I think we can take Laryssa out. The rest of those units are going to have to wait a little bit. Alright, I think everyone has moved. That pyre... Okay, I got a Pyre Templar here that hasn't yet, so let's send him straight up at that gate. And this dragon can also move forward. I think they're safe to do that. Okay, we're good. Alright, what you got, Laryssa? She's running away. Popsicled one of my Pyre Templars. And a Lion AoE. Oh, from the cannon. Right? Yeah, they healed up nicely. But I can heal up too. Okay, might need to back that shield guy out of there if I can't patch them up. Fortunately, the spider's doing their job of being a distraction. That hero needs to go so that I can get to that cannon. Keep it from doing more damage. Or I could just jump to the cannon. That actually probably makes more sense. I believe you also have defensive masters, so I could just do that. There we go. Keeps his cannon from doing anything, and with defensive masters, I can do that and then still defend. Perfect. There's just so much crap back there on each side. Alright, I think this guy might need to go, or at least use Aspect of the Root. But I think these guys can get up on the walls if he moves out of the way now. In fact, oh good, Pyre Templar gets up here. Now they're in trouble. In fact, I'm going to, well, he doesn't really need to... You know what, just hit him. Just hit him. We're good. They're not going to do enough damage to him to kill him. Lusty can move there. Are you in range of... Dang. I was hoping he would in range... If I can get this archer in range of Laryssa, you could do a lot of damage to her with focus aim and tracker's mark, but she's staying out of his range. Okay. I'm gonna back you... Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna back you off. Do you have Zealous or Faithful? You got Faithful. What I'm thinking I do is I move this guy up. Pirate Templar follows him to this tile. If I can do that. Can you make it? No, you can't quite. Alright, well you can get to the cannon there. Alright, here's what we do. Move up. You turn. Do this. That removes distracted. Okay, I was hoping it would remove burning. 53 out of 120 health. If I go into defense mode, I might be okay. If I move actually onto that, I should lose burning. Yeah, there we go. Then I do aspect of the root and go into defense mode while protecting both Pirate Templars. Good. I think that's a better use of him. And then I need to try to get these archers to where they can shoot Laryssa. Unless she moves away more. They're fine there because they are also faithful. I'm just going to have them defend. They don't have a very good chance of hitting anything right now. I also do have this fairy, and they still have their heal that can be used. I'm going to try to pin down Laryssa more. I think I want to use a spider to do that. Hopefully I get the hunter one. Good. That's what I wanted. Okay. Then what I can do is I can jump you across, and this sort of forces her back towards... I don't want to hit my own guy with that, so this sort of forces her back towards my my hero here. She's running out of places to run. And with this massive distraction here, I may be able to afford sending some guys back around the other way to go bother these mage locks over here. And I think the dragon might be a good choice to help do that. I don't want the dragon running up right into the thick of everything, but I think hanging out back here is okay. They should be tanky enough. And then I will keep the fairy with the dragon for now. Although, actually, that fairy is more vulnerable than the dragon is. You know, I'm going to have the fairy go over this way. And guard those units and be ready to possibly heal that group. Alright, now everybody in the middle. I could get the dragon up there and start pinning these guys down. That might be a good thing to do since most of these are range units. I really, really would like a way of getting rid of that guy, just getting him out of the way, because he's preventing my Pirate Templar from really getting right in the middle of that group and causing a ton of trouble. I don't know if I have a way of killing him, but I do have Dragon Breath on Dovahkiin here, and that could hit an awful lot of stuff. And I think now might be the time to use it. Let's see. What can I hit with this? Oh dear gosh. Okay, I can't pass that up. Doesn't really solve the problem with that guy, but it does get Dovahkiin into a very uncomfortable position for them. Yeah, I think I need to just come slice that guy up a little bit and move forward. I am not confident in throwing my dragon into that mix, though. I think they'll kill it. Oh, wish you could move one more space. You could go deal with that mage lock up there. Alright, well, for now we'll be happy with hurting the hero. And if I could just get rid of him... Okay, that's what you can do, actually. Oh no, he's steadfast, can't die. Okay, fine. Alright, well, just start breaking stuff. We're getting through. Just gotta play it safe. No crazy risks. Dragon faithful? Should be. Okay, so I don't have to worry about the fires with him. I think keeping the dragon here for now is a good spot. And then on the next turn, I think I can make my move to pin all of those units down. As for you, if you can't kill anyone, then I probably want you to just damage something. Oh wait, I could. Oh, I've already put the dragon in defense mode. I could have grace linked to the dragon with Bestow Mask of Prosperity. Not grace link, but literally just Mask of Prosperity, and then I would have been able to. I think I'll just move this guy forward for now. I might link to that dragon anyway on the next turn, but for now, leaving him sitting here is probably fine. Depends on what the enemies do. Who do I have left? Anyone? Young gold dragon here. It's one that I'm afraid to move forward. This one feels a little less threatened. I think moving this one forward, and because he's kind of more on the edge of the group, I think I'm okay with that, just to pin down that mage lock, and I'll just defend and force him to do something. And I still want to move this guy forward. Just defend for now. There's not a whole lot else he can do. Okay, I think everybody's done. I do have a spell. Probably want to use a spell. And I think in this case, Rending Shadows might be better. Because there's a huge group here that I don't want to shoot stuff. Oh, you know what, Hank? No, I take that back. I thought Rending Shadows had a bigger area. I think we're going to stick with Devout Radiance. That's really going to do more damage, and it's cheaper. I think Devout Radiance right there looks good. Could have also dropped it on that group, I guess. Done more damage to Laryssa. We'll get her on the next turn. All right, I think I'm done. Hopefully my army can handle another round of spells. Running, but she took a lot of damage in doing so. I think I can actually take her out with the Devout Radiance on this turn. Especially since she left her guard down, and then these guys can just back off if they need to. Okay, overall, looks good. Still haven't lost anyone as far as I know. Let me double check. Yep, we're still good. Couple golden dragons, a little bit low on health. But this is where they start losing units, I think. I can take her out with the spider, actually. So I don't even need to use a spell. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right. Let me check out the situation down here. If I can pin down all these range units, then I don't need to use a spell on them. First off, Spider finishes that hero off. Second, we break that cannon? Yeah. Start working your way through that cannon. I can get the dragon up here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna want to leave him up here or not, but I can get you to this point, and I can actually do a decent AoE attack with them. I'll have him go up here and just continue breaking through that cannon. Dragon's got big tail swipe. Let's do that. That'll actually take out multiple units. And I believe leaves him in defense mode too. That allows this dragon to pretty safely move over here and tail swipe those guys, which further pins them down. There is the Dragoon in the back though. Yeah, unless I can pin down or kill, I would actually need to kill that Dragoon to be safe. I could tail swipe from this side so the dragon doesn't get flanked. I like that better. There we go. Yep, their defenses are crumbling. Alright, I think I'm gonna use my spells over here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually kill Laryssa with Devout Radiance. I think that's been extremely handy here. And I'm gonna damage that mage lock so he can't hurt me as badly. She's gone, so no more spells for them. I can then... You know what? I'm going to come over here and just further pin them down with that free spider summon. We got a mercenary threatening this hero, which really can't do much. I'm just going to... Yeah, I don't care if you have pikes and I'm mounted. I've had too many stacks of grace for it to matter. Do I want to keep moving forward with that dragon? I know I do with this guy. I want to clear off his negative status effects, so we'll get some cleansing flames down there. Break the cannon, please. And maybe break the tower. Or work on it. I'm going to send the fairy here and actually just drop the healing now to keep the fairy well and alive. Actually, the fairy's not really under any threat here. I'll just keep her defense mode warding up. I kind of want to heal that dragon more than anything else. But for now, let's just get him out of harm's way. Get him back down here. And then you can shoot, you could keen sight shoot somebody. Oh, this looks like a good one. I can finish that guy off. Or the spearman, I could do a lot of damage to. Let's do the spear. Kind of get him off of my leader, or my hero. Just make sure we don't miss on that. Good. Now it's time to run through and start making things disappear. Is that dragon at good health? I'm gonna go ahead and do the link thing. Bestow Mask of Prosperity. Oh wait, no. Why would I do that when I have this ready again? Grace for everyone. That's a lot less scary. That guy's a lot less scary when I've got grace on everybody. Because that single shot will just do no damage. Alright, let's just go attack. We're fine. I'll start trying to pin that guy into a corner with those houses. And everyone's done. Their morale is not looking good. I might need to start planning for that group over there to run. And me trying to make sure they don't make it out alive. So I may need to move some units over in that direction. These guys are all dead. I have too much stuff over here. running the wrong way, though, because if they retreat, they're going to have to come back. Still good to double check in a battle this size and make sure nothing sneaky died that I didn't notice, but I think I'm good. This would be a good time for this dragon to come up here and kill that, because then I can drop the healing now and get the dragon in it. Some more regen for me. We do have a couple that are retreating. In fact, all of the units up here are. So I can take them out on the way. They'll come back this direction. They'll probably try to funnel through this gate here. So I should be able to catch them on the way out. Might be able to stun one. Resisted stunning bash, okay. I'm gonna position this guy to where he can hopefully get to him regardless of what way they leave. And gonna pull other units over in that direction too to make sure they can't run as easily. Now how about you guys? Oh, they're all running too, okay. Well, fortunately, I can prevent them from getting away with... Oh, it's gone. Used all of my spells. They'll probably try to run through there. I don't want them running away, so... No, I do not. I want to break every last thing they have in here so it doesn't respawn in their capital. Alright. I guess at this point it's just... everybody back out of the walls and try to keep them from running. I think I'm pretty much done with my movement. I'll just end the turn. We'll see where they go. I think I can keep everyone from getting away here. Oh, they're going a little bit more to the side than I thought they would. Okay. Nice crit, that helps. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it. I want you to help pin him down. In fact, force him to run more down than up and to the left. I think they might be in trouble. Yep, you're not getting away. You're not getting away. I think I got everyone down there, minus the tower. Don't know if it matters, but I can go break that. And I think it's just these guys. Sorry, pal. All right. A pretty strong victory there. That should put a dent in her forces. That shield is not useful to me. I have far better shields. Let's go ahead and vassalize the city. I don't need to do anything with that one. And then position everyone up here to get ready for the next one. And we'll just start steamrolling through. All right, that feels good. And I think I have a Scorched Forge to clear on this turn as well, although I am going to get that Spring Fairy in there. Alright, guys. I'm sure the dragon will probably die in this fight, but he's got to learn how to kill some of this stuff. I don't care about any battlefield effects. Oh, that's just a bunch of tier 3s. These guys should be easy. Nice, okay. Get a Mask of Precision. I think I already have 20% accuracy. I could get a Plate of Stellar Blades, tier 2 armor, don't need that. Vengeful Spark Collar, tier 3. Could disenchant that for essence, or fragments, binding fragments. I could take gold, which I don't really need. Or get, I'll take the Vengeful Spark Collar. It's a tier 3 item, it can sit in my hoard until I decide to disenchant it for binding fragments. Alright, I do need the rest of these guys that are up here to continue following me down. Although I can drop... Let's see, I'm going to drop one of them. We're going to go in the Umbral Void next and go ahead and clear that one Void Stone that I didn't get to. I think that's next on my list. Yeah, that'll work. Also, since I have a Spring Fairy, I'll probably lean more into... I'll probably leave the healer person behind and take the Seal Bearers with me. Although the Seal Bearer is not keeping up. There we go, that one can keep up. Okay. Those armies are the ones that are going to go after, going to go into the void here and clear that. And then they'll go get the Derelict Depository or whatever that other wonder is near Markarth Underground. Okay, Scorched Forge I'll be able to add to that city in one turn, so that'll give me some more Imperium income. Excellent. This ferry can get down here and join these armies, which are actually ready to ship off, and I don't want them to wait for one unit, so she's going to have to catch up. Yeah, I'll bring her here for now, but these guys are going to go on ahead and can get them in the water. And then they can all go down on the next turn. I think I was sending him back, but I don't know if I want to totally send him back, because he could replace units. You know what I want? I want a work camp down here, so I can teleport stuff in and out. Just make things easier. I know there's technically a teleporter pretty close by, right there. But having one just right here underground, I'll probably put it here so this is all sort of connected and I can move through here more quickly. It'll make a nice little base down here. For now, though, you can actually get to this teleporter pretty quick, and this is where I need extra units, so go there. Main armies are good. White Run got its Garden of Affluence, so that's good. See, like, Beacon of Valor doesn't give city fortification health anymore. Caltrap Stash, Ballista Towers, Archer Battlements, none of that actually provides fortification health. I think there's very few things that might still provide some, but they basically made it harder to come by, which I think is good. I think stone walls should be the main source of your fortification. I think overall I like the changes that were made to sieges. I like having that big final battle being, at the city's walls. It feels cooler that way. I don't know what I want to build in Whiterun, if anything. Wyvern area benefits from farms. I do have a lot of farms around here, but I got a teleporter up there. I don't really want to move the teleporter, so I might kind of just produce merchandise in Whiterun. I guess it makes sense to go ahead and at least build the defensive structures, because Whiterun is a frontline city, so still having them is probably a good thing. Another level up on my ruler. I think I already took those. Or not on my... Oh wait, this is my ruler. This is Dovahkiin. Okay. I could reduce his breath cooldown attack by 1. That would be cool. There's also other healing things I can do with Conjure Wild Growth, but he's a dragon. Let's give him a good breath attack. Or maybe more damage on melee. Hang on, let's see what else we've got in here. Turn this unit against regeneration when hit by an attack. That's also good. Nah, breath attack. Lusty is going to get Rallying Cry, which is good for boosting allied defense and stuff. Another good option is Call of the Wild that gives a couple free combat summons. Just tier 2 animals, so nothing crazy. I actually would probably use that more than I would use Rallying Cry, because I have defensive masters, so she's going to always be entering defense mode, which is something that this does, but this just gives Rally bolstered defense and bolstered resistance to adjacent units. Might be better in some circumstances. I think it's still probably worth picking up. Free combat summons are always good too, but I think I trust in the strength of my core armies. I think I would rather focus on improving them rather than trying to get extra crappy units. I think my core armies are strong enough. Okay, he's got a 30% accuracy boost. Need to find the ranger to see if he had a 20 at least. That's 10. Okay, we'll upgrade to Crown of or whatever. I just got a Mask of Precision. There it is, 20% accuracy and 1 defense. That's slightly better, so we'll give him that. Also, he leveled up. Let's give him either more blight damage on attacks, or I go down a different path. It's already got Slip Away, but I could just start upgrading his attack damage. I think doing percent-based upgrades to his attack damage is probably better. Let's get Staves of Grace active. That'll be really nice for my fairies. And got Someone's Remains, which, as you can see now, they don't have any items other than just like it'll give them like the default item for their class, a tier 1 version of it. Everything else went to my arsenal. So keeping these guys in here actually kind of makes more sense now, because I get passive income from them. So I'm going to start letting heroes pile up in the crypt and the prison. I probably won't really sell their bodies or do anything with them. So I think that passive income is probably better. Alright, I have no idea when I started recording today. I just got totally carried away with the game, but I think I don't feel like it's been that long. Also, I'm already at 344 mana income per turn. That is skyrocketing. So I think I can afford to use Empowered Beasts when it's done. Although it seems like my resources... My gold's been pretty steady, but mana has been fluctuating wildly, depending on what I've got going on at any given point in the game. Also, I never did get a chance to deal with this infestation over here. I guess that's something that my ranger can clear out when he's done with the wonders and the void stones and all the other... He's like the army that's handling all the little extra things. Which is fine. You need an army like that in this game. I got one to kill the umbral jerks. Just down here somewhere. Yeah. One to clear that umbral armor camp fast dwelling. That's the word I'm looking for. One to kill the underdwelling that's been sending stuff after me. I got one to take care of all the extra stuff. That's my ranger's army up here. And I've got Dovahkiin to actually kill enemies. We can do everything all at once. I wish Malkafen wasn't so far away. My biggest motivation for knocking people out of the game at this point is it'll make the time in between turns go a lot faster. Oh, what do we got over here? Noctis is buddying up with whatever black and orange is. Don't remember their name. Nazru. Noctis is buddying up with Nazru kind of near Arcadia. They've got something planned. Maybe I need to buff Arcadia's defenses a little bit again. Do they have any leftovers from the last time I did that? I wonder. I didn't buy them any of those. Yeah, it looks like whatever I gave them they probably used. I don't know. I might have bought them some of that. I was just like giving them random units. Yeah, kind of need them to stop that army from getting to me. Although I've still got a lot of defenders in Falkreath too, so I would be fine, but I don't want them. I don't want Arcadia to fall. Arcadia needs to stay where it's at. I like Arcadia. It's my best frontline city in this game. It's right smack in the middle of the map. Yeah, I'm gonna give them some Rally of Liege stuff. Seems like a good use for extra gold right now. Alright, I'm gonna do that right away before I forget. Ooh, I'll just throw a gold golem their way, that'd be fun. And, oh, you can get knights through the Rally of Lieges. That's a new feudal culture unit. An exemplar. I'll get them a bunch of tier 4s. I don't have to worry about the Imperium upkeep on them, that's their problem. And then we'll do like, we'll get them I'm gonna get them a full stack of really nice units. We'll throw an Awakener in there, and probably a Bastion to help guard stuff. Reinforce Vassal, 538 gold. In 2 turns, we'll send all that to Arcadia. That should... Yeah, guard Arcadia. That should help them out quite a bit. In fact, I've got cash. Oh wait, I used most of my recruitment points there though. That should be enough, right? I guess I could throw in a Thunderbird and maybe a Daylight Spear, Halberdier, Sun Priest or something. Give him another healer. Didn't have a healer in that other group. Reinforce Vassal, Arcadia, guard Arcadia. Alright, we'll just keep dumping Rally of Liege points into them because they're the ones who really need it. Alright, as for the rest of you, go this way. Probably going to have you take out that Horned God and the Druids of the Cycle on the next turn. I am going to cast Empowered Beasts, because I do have a handful of animals, and we can just make them bigger. I wish I'd have thought about that more, but kind of using animals for this build is pretty good, because it goes right across Empowered Beasts, and it also benefits from the Tome of the Goddess of Nature has that one that provides extra blight damage, like +4 blight damage to a bunch of different types of units, including dragons and animals. I will benefit from it because I am dragons. but animals will benefit from it too. Okay, let's get you over here. And you guys can march that way. You're basically extras. Bear can join you. And you can join them. Alright, back to it then. Round 2. These guys put up a pretty tough defense the first time I came through here. Let's see if they've managed to reinforce in time. And the ferry, I'm just going to send close, but they're just going to wait just outside the borders right there. Looks like the fastest way is to cut across there. Just sort of bundle them up here. Doesn't look like they've got a whole lot left in there. Hopefully it stays that way. Dovahkiin's army is already patched up and ready to go, so we'll just carry right on into Karatov. What is the fastest way to get to that city's walls? It's going to be road building. I'm going to actually remember that this time. Hang on. If I do that, can I get there in this turn? No, that's actually just if Dovahkiin moved. Is that on or off? Okay, it's on right now. Cannot build roads through. Oh, no, okay, so I have to move here. I can build it like around them, or I can just move here and then build a road through that forest there. That's probably what I'll do. I'll just move here with Dovahkiin. Turn on road building, move here. Nope, okay, can't do that. I have to actually move out. Then turn on road building, do that. And then that allows everyone to get through there in 2 turns instead of 3. And then I can get right into her terrain again. Okay, perfect. You can go there. You guys can go here, and then on the next turn we can begin another siege. How nice. No rest for Laryssa. And we're at the Tome of the Goddess of Nature. Force of Nature is what I was talking about. Gives plus 20 crit chance and plus 4 blight damage in all attacks for plants, animals, cavalry, fae, and dragons. Dragons of which I have 55 in the army. So I'm going to say that's a pretty good final tome for me to pick for this build.
In the end, we shall all be humble.
Mass Rejuvenation is also very good. So I'm going to lock that. And we'll research Force of Nature first. I can get the mine, Scorched Forge in Milestone, which needs to be renamed. I think it was Roderick that suggested Winterhold, which I appreciate just for the irony of this being in a desert. So we'll do that. And we are at the end of that turn as well. Now is when things start crumbling. I really want to make those siege items. I get that Void Stone on the next turn. Gosh, with that I could almost siege stuff in 1. Almost. At least if it was only 30. I might actually, you know what? I might actually have items already that give Siege Master. I'll have to look. I probably don't need to craft them. I bet I already have some. I'll look on the beginning of the next turn before I start this siege. We'll see how many I have, and then I'll craft what I don't. But every hero should have that. At least every hero in Dovahkiin's armies. The others, I guess the mage that's going against the Umbral Dwelling could use it. The others doesn't matter quite as much for. Like, my ranger doesn't really need it because he's not actually sieging anything right now. Yeah, those items basically just went from something that it was like nice to have, but I didn't really put a huge priority on them, to something that is desperately very, very useful now. I like that. Oh, looks like this umbral infestation is spreading even more. Kind of a not my problem sort of thing, though. This isn't going to be my city even after I take it. That's for somebody else to clean up. I wonder if they can still use the teleporters and stuff while the city is being retaken. I didn't think about that before Dovahkiin's army left. In theory, I would say no. The city's in a state where kind of like nobody owns it because they can't control what the city does, so I would think they can't use the stuff that's in it, but I guess I don't know that for sure. Also, I probably should have cleared that tranquility pool, although if this becomes a vassal city, I think they'll clear it automatically. I might already have 3 tranquility pools as well. No, I only have 2. Could get another one. To have 5 silver tongue fruits, man. Well, there's eldritch monsters next to it. I think somebody summoned those in it. I'm not sure. They just sort of appeared out of nowhere. Oh, they're gonna go sit on my teleporter? Well, that's kind of annoying. Also, yeah, here's what I was talking about with outposts. They can't build stone walls anymore. You can get wood walls, but as far as I can tell, you can't build stone walls unless that's locked behind some sort of Empire Affinity upgrade now. I don't think it is, as far as I've seen. Yeah, look, just extra XP feed for my dragons there, who are doing pretty well. That one's getting close. Another 20 XP, and that one will be a fully fledged gold dragon. Province is being pillaged. Yeah, they're gonna pillage that teleporter. That's annoying. Oh well, I don't think these guys are gonna need reinforcements, but I can always build another outpost further on down the line, and eventually they'll just pillage it and leave, and then I can just redo it. That'll be a vassal in 1 turn. Let me check. Okay, first off, I want to make sure that these guys have the best items for healing. So you have one that's just Umbral Malady immunity, and you don't have anything that boosts healing. So you're on the list for an upgrade. I think both of the shield units are with Dovahkiin. Dovahkiin has Halo of Necron. That one's not that important. Kind of like Astral Membrane. He gets True Sight from that. Dovahkiin's also a really good healer, though. Who's the other shield unit? That's you. Yours is lowering army maintenance. You got Summon Spider Matriarch. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to Lusty, because hers just doesn't do anything else. So we're going to give you the Void Crystals, and that'll help your army regen health faster. And then I need to see if she's got a casting point upgrade thing. I think I would rather... You've got Frost... No, wait, you don't... Think about what I'm doing here, because I've got the Summon Spider Monarch, which is really nice to have. I don't really want to give that up. I think I would rather give up Lightning Strike. Yeah, that's an easy choice, actually. So what I want to do is look and see if I've got anything that does sieges, benefits sieges. True Sight, casting points, Leg of the Demolisher, so Demolisher, Umbral Malady immunity, Siege Master. Okay, I've got one, so I'll give that to her. That's a pretty easy switch. Is there any others while I'm in here? I got the Horn of the Wall Breaker. Damage fortified all obstacles, and then a bunch of walls. So I only have one, but we'll swap that out now. You also leveled up. I didn't actually give you anything for that. Let's take Weakening Strikes. Alright, well, with that being gone, let's make trinkets that give Siege Master. These don't necessarily have to be tier 4s. Siege Master is the important one. I'll take that book because I know there's a book of Siege Crafts, so it'll be easier for me to identify what it is. Do I not have Siege Master? What do I need for that? Really? Out of all the magic materials I have, that's one that I can't make. That's unfortunate. Well, getting it on that one person should make this a 2-turn siege anyway, but I could really use some Arcanium ore. I'll pick it up along the line eventually somewhere probably, but I mean, I could look around in caves. That's where I'm probably going to find it. If I could get an outpost on some, that would be ideal. I could dig cavern walls too. I feel like I should have found another source of that by now. Huh. Maybe there's some here, around here somewhere where these guys are. There's some. Okay, I'll try to get that once. Yeah, I'll try to get that once this, once I'm done with these guys down here. Yeah, I have to clear their borders first anyway. Alright, this should be a very easy battle. What terrain is that I'm walking onto? I want to make sure that's a road. Okay, good. It is. Okay, pretty easy. Wow, that's a tier 4, +1 defense and bolstering regen. I don't think that's that good. That's getting disenchanted for Binding Essence. Since I am not making the Siegecraft book now, I will continue to make these good Void Crystal things that I was making that provide the army healing. That I want everyone to have one. Oh, I don't have enough binding fragments for it. Okay. So I need to keep... Oh wait, no, I can disenchant more from my arsenal. What am I talking about? Find any tier 3 item I'm not using, tier 3 or tier 4, and I can get rid of it. Like the Vengeful Spark Collar. I'm not going to use that, so we'll disenchant that. And get one more of these Void Crystal healing items. Yeah. Healing is important. Always want to be topping off my health. Okay, I think everyone can just run up the hill at this point. Can I reach? Am I technically next to the city? I just am not. Just barely out of reach. Maybe I can build a road? No, it's too late. I've already moved everyone. I thought I could reach it. I misjudged how far that was. I mean, I technically could, but they could come out and attack me if I split that the hero off by himself. I'd rather keep my army together. We'll just wait another turn. These guys, though, they can start the party at Karatov. I'm going to actually slide them around to the opposite side of the city. I have an idea. We'll see if it'll work. I just need Dovahkiin to have enough movement to step out, drop an outpost right there, and then step back in. And I think I have enough. Yep. Always set up outposts as you're sieging if you can. There's no reason not to. And then you can move here. Yes, you can. Good, good, perfect. Looks good. And then we can get the party started. Now, this is a 2-turn siege because I have all that extra. One of the heroes is getting 5 bonus siege damage. I'm actually getting 17. Somebody else is providing a little extra siege breaker as well. So siege projects now basically are just ways of making the fight easier. So I probably want to do things like burning the battlements, undermining the walls, bombarding the towers, and constructing onagers can be useful. Raiding party doesn't really help me that much. The amount of gold difference is pretty minimal at this game. I can also just harass defenders. They'll probably just heal it up if I do that. So instead I'll bring onagers in, because why not? We've got money to spend. Let's spend it. Alright, and you guys down here. Let's... Is that a mountain, or is that just like a hill? That's a mountain. Let's not walk on that. I'll use you because you're fast. Wow, they all survived. I'm impressed. Got another Thunderbird mount. Don't need that, so we'll disenchant it. It looks like I'm getting followed. Alright, fine. I'll just get these guys off my tail. Oh wait, hang on. A little closer. That was just leftovers from the bird nest. They won't be bothering me anymore. Just the line of random extras. They're doing great out there. Alright, as for you guys, get down underground and let's go clear some void stones. I'm going to have them end their turn in... Oh wait, they actually can't attack me if I end the turn in there, because I'm in walls. Alright, well, this should be an easy battle, so I'm not worried about it. You attack. Just a bunch of... Oh, come on, guys, really? Alright, I'll try to rush through this one real quick. Dragon, you've lost your privileges. You don't get to do anything in this fight. The dragons are in timeout. Okay, everybody moves forward. And these guys should just run into an absolute death trap. How did they even manage to kill that thing? I just realized I'd kind of like to have one of the Radiant Dragons in this this Ranger's army. Would be kind of nice. Oh my gosh, that guy is already almost dead. In fact, he is, because I can snapshot him. And then I can follow up with a string of attacks. He's dead. Then I can use Devout Radiance on these guys. Soften them up a bit. And then cup them to pieces with Fire Templars. soon as I damage them as much as I can with all my other units. Ah, the wings are a lie. He can't actually get to them. Yeah, run around up there, I guess. Yeah, just go start chopping. Nope, you're still in timeout. Hey, look who I can reach. He is now trapped. Gonna have him clear his status effects. And this guy wants to circle around and join the party. He is more than welcome to, as long as he attacks the Pyre Templar. Or the shield, that's fine too. Guess that archer can't move, so I'll just put him over here. See, was that so hard, guys? Come on. Do better. Warding Cloak, 3 status resistance. That's another one that I would take the Binding Essence on. I can make something better. I don't know what exactly, but I'm sure I can make something better. We'll put them back in here so I can heal up and make sure everyone's in the walls, just for safety's sake, I guess. Should be able to clear those Void Stones on the next turn and begin the siege down here on the next turn. For now, that Nymph can stay where they are. Whiterun is good to just keep building different battlements and defensive structures. I'm fine with that. Valkyrie's also kind of at the point of doing the same, although I can't get the mint, so we'll grab that. How's Markarth doing? What do you guys need? Stone walls? Yeah, you don't have stone walls yet. Let's build some of those. I did get the work camp down here in the underground, so I get that teleporter, and then I can use that teleporter to immediately send you to my spare unit armies. Riften has grown. What do I want to do with Riften? Yeah, I could get another forester to boost that Pyre Shrine back up to where it was. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. I guess I could use another mine. Yeah, there's a mine right here. That's actually where I kind of need those extra animals to go, is over here. Okay, void crystals, I've already assigned those, I think. Did I? Actually, I might not have. Do I still have some? Yeah, I did give them to someone. They're not in here, so we're good. More hero remains collected, but no items on them. So I can pretty much just right-click those notifications. And Laryssa is back in Mockhoffen, so maybe she'll come down and try to break the siege of Karatov. I don't know if she'll make it in time, but she can try. I guess she's got teleporters, so she can give it a shot. But that's gonna, I think, have to wait until the next episode. I think we're gonna wrap this one up here. I think this is a good stopping point. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. I will try to wrap this campaign up as quickly as I can so that we can get on to some of the giant content. I already have a build put together. I'm playing with a little off camera, fine-tuning it a bit, but I should have something fun ready for the next series once we're done with this one. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. Special thanks to all my Patreon supporters, including Tier 3 supporters Blitz, Dawson Horner, Devin Larson, Jimbro, Roderick, and Sarah Feingold. Thanks so much, everybody.